As a leader, have you ever felt expected to have all the answers? Or that you had to prove your knowledge and capability? Or maybe you found yourself backing away from a conversation, not because you agreed, but because the tension that was escalating just didn't feel worth it. If you have, you're not alone. Every leader has at some point experienced the unease of not knowing or the frustration that comes from giving in simply to avoid conflict. In this video, I want to explore why releasing that pressure to know, can create more space for curiosity, productive conversations, better decisions, and healthier change. Recently, a leader shared a powerful reflection she had about her own leadership. This leader is smart, talented, and an expert in their field. Yet they had noticed that in certain situations, self-doubt was creeping in. They believed, as many leaders do, that the team expected them to have the answers. So when that self-doubt crept in, or they felt challenged, they noticed it was harder to stay in the conversation. Sometimes even stepping back rather than staying in the discomfort of the disagreement. Their self-awareness was such an honest and human observation. So many of us have experienced something similar. When a conversation starts to feel more like a test of competence instead of shared learning, it becomes harder to stay open, curious, and engaged. In those moments, we often have one of two reactions. We either double down and push our agenda forward, or we withdraw to avoid the conflict. All of this is normal, and it's not simply about ego. Most of the time, that feeling is a reaction to what we may perceive as a threat. In those moments, the question, the challenge, or the disagreement stops feeling like a shared conversation and begins to feel more like an attack. It can start to feel personal, as though your credibility, your competence, or your authority is on the line. And when that happens, your threat response takes over. Curiosity narrows, listening drops, the conversation shifts from learning to defending. The impact of this response doesn't stop with you. It affects everyone in the conversation. People become less willing to share, challenge, contribute, and think together, which creates blind spots and can limit the information that you need to ensure healthy and sustainable change. The pattern is often also reinforced by the leadership stories many of us have absorbed. Change doesn't need heroes. It needs enablers. In North America especially, we are surrounded by stories of CEOs who are portrayed as heroes, as if one person single-handedly transformed an organization through vision, certainty, and sheer force of will. Those stories are compelling, but they're also deeply misleading. The reality of organizational change is that every organizational transformation requires individual change. Your organization won't change unless each person adopts the new thinking, activities, behaviors to live that new intended outcome. No executive brings a vision to life through force of will alone. When leadership is concentrated in one person or one small group at the top, organizations become more dependent, not more capable. Peter Senge warned about this years ago with his myth of the hero leader, which creates a cycle where dramatic change is imposed from the top. Leadership at other levels diminishes, change capacity weakens, and organizations begin searching for the next hero. That's not the leadership you need to enable healthy and strong change. Your job is not to sell a change. It is to prepare people to make the journey. You need to begin to reframe the leader from hero to change capacity builder. To enable healthy and sustainable change in your organization and reduce the feeling of having your leadership questioned, you need to shift from the idea that a leader is the person who has all the answers to a leader who knows how to build a capacity throughout the organization. A leader who receives questions and challenges not as threats to their authority, but as necessary information to make good decisions. A leader who reframes self-doubt into self-awareness and gets curious about what they don't know. A leader who creates the conditions that encourages creativity, ownership, and commitment with people and gives people the time and space to create and build readiness. Leadership is not about protecting your authority. It's about creating the conditions for people to think well together. Where in your leadership are you still carrying the burden of having to know, persuade, or prove? In an upcoming video, I want to share with you one simple communication practice that can help you keep conversations open, reduce defensiveness, and engage differing perspectives with more authenticity and curiosity. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again.